Hello students. Today we are to discuss two short poems by Robert Frost, which is firstly placed in your textbook. But before we discuss about the poems, I would like to tell you the difference between a prose and poetry. As I think, prose gives an opportunity to the writer to expand a matter, to expand an idea. It means some idea comes in the mind of the writer, he is free to analyze it, to put it in a number of words, in a number of sentences, just enlarge. But in contrary, a poem doesn't allow the writer to do so. It means in a poem, symbols and words are used in such a way that only the view of the writer can be achieved if the reader or the listener is ready to derive the meaning of that very poem in his own sense. It means the sense of a poet can be gained completely by taking the poet in your own sense. Some symbols are used in poems. Symbols in the sense that something is said, either the poet is describing the nature or something other, but the main thing he wants to discuss is quite different from that what he is saying in words in the poem. Here, Robert Frost is explaining the nature and the world in two very short poems. I am telling very short in the sense that there are only 8 lines in the first poem, that's Dust of Snow. Dust of Snow, very easy title. Dust of Snow, बर्फ की धूल. What is the dust of snow? First of all, we will have to discuss about that. Snowfall, we go hill stations to enjoy snowfall. But the snow falls not in the form of hailstorms. ओले के रूप में वो नहीं होता है. That is in the form of dust and which accumulates on the leaves, the branches of the trees. In the first poem, Dust of Snow, the poet wants to say that even a very short incident or a thing which seems quite simple, not very significant, but can bring a big change in a person. And Frost is here very successful to explain the matter. What? That even the shortest thing, like dust of snow, can change, can bring change in someone. Firstly, I will read the short poem. Thereafter, I will tell you the Hindi meaning of the poem also. Because we are studying English through Hindi medium. We are Hindi speakers. So only to explain the matter in Hindi, it will be somewhat difficult to make you understand the real meaning of the poem. So I will have to do it. Dust of snow, as I told you, बर्फ की धूल, dust means in Hindi we say it is dust, धूल जो उड़ती है सड़क पर, that is dust. But it is the dust of snow, not the dust rising on the roads. The poem is the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and shaved some part of a day I had rued. These are only 8 lines and very short lines also. The way, जिस तरह, a crow shook down on me, एक कौवे ने मेरे ऊपर गिराया, shook down हिलाकर गिराया, the dust of snow, बर्फ की धूल को, from a hemlock tree, एक hemlock tree से, has given, दिया, my heart, मेरे हृदय को, a change of mood, मूड में, भाव में एक परिवर्तन, and shaved, और बचा दिया, some part of a day, दिन का कुछ हिस्सा, I had rued, जिसे मैंने बर्बाद कर दिया था. What simple explanation it is. If you take the meaning of the poem, you will understand that it is quite simple. That poet has rued his day. Some part of the day was rued by him. It means he was not in a good mood. And he goes outside. He stands under a hemlock tree. Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree with white flowers. As we see akwan ka ped, it means hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. And he stands under a poisonous tree. And the bird which shook down the ice of snow on his head is a crow. It is a very small incident. Someone can stand under a tree. आप भी कभी किसी पेड़ के नीचे खड़े होते होंगे और एनी वर्ड आपको ऊपर से कुछ कर देता होगा और आपका मूड कभी खराब भी हो जाता होगा. वो ऐसा कुछ करता है. But here, 2 points are most significant. The poems, which are very short, are sometimes very difficult to explain because we have to understand the feeling of the poet ourselves. We have to understand what does the poet want to say with these lines. He wants to say that the poet was in a negative mood. Poet was not in a jolly mood. He was not happy because the last word, I had rued, the part of the day I had rued. Rued means I have destroyed. मैंने बर्बाद कर दिया था दिन का कुछ हिस्सा. Sometimes we feel that we are not in a happy mood and we think that the day is going to be abused completely and it is not going to be useful for me. At that time, we are completely negative. The crow. Take the other point, the crow. The poet has taken the bird crow. Usually, poets do not use crow in their poems. Kakkuj, कोयल की बात, parrots, swans. These are the birds which are commonly used by the poems in a good sense. The sound of a kakku, कोयल की आवाज, उस पर कवियों ने क्या नहीं लिखा, लोग लिखते हैं. What about to write about the crow. Crow के विषय में क्या लिखना? Because crow is not taken in a good sense. कौवे की काव काव, the crowing of the crow is hated. We do not like it. But the sound of the kakku, कोयल का संगीत, we feel it better. But here the poet uses the crow. It means there was no any other bird which was shaking the tree to drop the dust of snow on the poet, but it was a crow, and he was standing under a hemlock tree, which is also negative, a poisonous tree. We usually do not stand and do not rest under a poisonous tree. We take rest under a peepal tree, under an oak tree. We can do it, a banyan tree. But the poet is standing under a hemlock tree. It means it was also negative. The complete sense of the poem is that the poet was completely in a negative sense, in negative mood, and he was very anxious, you may say disappointed. What about that? What about he was disappointed? The poet has not mentioned, but it is quite clear with his words that he was disappointed. And this disappointment is shown in the lines that he was standing under a hemlock tree and a crow drops the snow, dust of snow on his head. And the poet says, has given my heart a change of mood. And this changed his mood. It means his negative mood was changed in positive completely. What does it mean? It means a very insignificant thing can bring a greater change, a positive change, and this is the theme of the poet. I think you can do it easily, you can understand it easily. The way a crow, जिस प्रकार एक कौवे ने मेरे ऊपर बर्फ की धूल को एक हेमलॉक ट्री से गिराया, जिससे मेरे हृदय में एक चेंज ऑफ मूड हो गया, मेरा मूड बदल गया, एंड सेव्ड और बचा दिया सम पार्ट ऑफ ए डे आई हैड रूड. इट मीन्स the day which was remaining for the poet, which was going to be rude, because the poet was not in a good mood. But the dust of snow which was fallen by the crow changed the mood of the poet, and the remaining part of the day became positive for the poet. The poet is very short, and I hope you have understand it. And the questions in this poem are also asked like this. What is the dust of snow? What does the poet say has changed his mood? How has the poet's mood changed? There are three parts of the questions, and all are very short. What is the dust of snow? Dust of snow, it means the snow which falls in small particles on the trees, on the leaves. And what does the poet say has changed his mood? Because a crow has dropped that very dust of snow on his head from a hemlock tree. And how has the poet's mood changed? The answer of this question may be different from different people. But in my opinion, the answer of this question is that The poet was in a negative mood. He was standing under a hemlock tree which was poisonous, and the bird who dropped the dust of snow on him was also a crow. He was also a negative. And all these negative things made the positive change. In mathematics, you have learned that if two negative signs are multiplied, the result is positive. I think this theory comes alive in this very poem. Hemlock tree, negative. Crow, negative. Mood, negative. And all these negatives made the poet positive, and his day was saved. How does Frost present nature in this poem? Nature is expressed in this poem in a very beautiful way. Generally, poets do not use these symbols in their poems. And the questions are asked here, what are the birds that are usually named in poems? That are cuckoos, quails, they are parrots. But crow is not usually used. What is a hemlock tree? Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. It means all the flowers and each and everything under that very tree is poisonous. And poisonous is the dark side of life. So this was also a negative thing for the poet. And crow and what do the crow and hemlock represent? Joy or sorrow? Certainly, in common sense, they represent sorrow. They cannot be joyful. Neither the cock, nor the hemlock tree, or nor the poet was in the good mood, in the joyful mood, because he is clearly saying that I have rued some part of my day, and he was going to rue the remaining part of the day also. But it was changed because his mood changed. How? Because he saw that a crow is shaking down dust of snow on me. What dust of snow on me? And this perhaps it would have made him to laugh that I am under hemlock tree and the crow is shaking dust of snow on me. This was the cause that changed the mood of the poet. And the last question, third question is, have there been times when you felt depressed or hopeless? Have you experienced a similar moment that changed your mood that day? Maybe it should be given by you, that have you any chance to face this problem or not? Certainly, there is nobody who is not in such a mood, depressed or hopeless in life. There are so many times when one becomes so hopeless and depressed. But at that time, what changes the mood? This should be expressed as the answer of this question. So I think this poem would have been clear before you. And the just next poem, so I want to include this very poem also in this very video, because this is also written by Robert Frost, the same writer. And this is also a very short poem. Only 9 lines are used. Short lines are used by the poet in this very poem. That is titled Fire and Ice. Fire and ice. There are two things. Fire represents heat and ice represents coldness. It means both are opposite to each other as their qualities. Fire is to burn and ice is to cool down. It means in this poem also, the poet has symbolized two things, the fire and ice. What are two things? Let us read the poem and understand. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. But what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Very short poem, but very significant. Some say the world will end in fire. कुछ कहते हैं कि दुनिया आग से खत्म होगी. Some say in ice. कुछ कहते हैं बर्फ से समाप्त होगी. लेकिन from what I have tasted of desire, लेकिन जिस प्रकार की इच्छाओं को मैंने चखा है, I hold with those who favor fire. मैं उनके साथ हूं जो आग के पक्ष में है, अर्थात जो इस पक्ष में है कि दुनिया आग से समाप्त होगी. बट इफ इट हैड टू पेरिश ट्वाइस, लेकिन अगर इसे दो बार समाप्त होना हो, आई थिंक, मैं सोचता हूं, आई नो एनफ ऑफ हेट, मैं काफी जानता हूं घृणा के बारे में, टू से, यह कहने के लिए, दैट फॉर डिस्ट्रक्शन, कि विनाश के लिए, आइस इज ऑल्सो ग्रेट, बर्फ भी बहुत महान होता है. एंड वुड सफाइस, सफाइस इज अ वर्ड विच इज यूज फॉर सफिशियंट, बिकॉज poets use some words in changed manner to complete the rhyming scheme, and you are asked in questions that what is the rhyming scheme of the poem. And if you see the rhyming scheme of the poem, first line is fire, first line ends with fire, second line ends with ice, the third line desire, and fourth line fire. And so the rhyming scheme of this poem will be said that A, B, A, because the third and fifth line rhymes with the first line, which is A, and the second line is B. So the rhyming scheme of this poem will be A, B, A. And in the second, A, B, A, B, A. And the rhyming scheme of the second stanza is A, B, A, B, A. Twice, hate, ice, great, suffice. Suffice is A. So, three lines are rhyming and two lines are rhyming. So, they are A, B, and A. Now, let's discuss the poem. We think that the world will end in fire. दुनिया आग से समाप्त होगी. हम लोग कहते हैं परमाणु युद्ध होगा, एक बार आग का गोला होगा और दुनिया समाप्त हो जाएगी. It means the world will end in fire. But it is not true to say that only the fire can destroy the world. According to poet, the ice, it means the coldness, can also cause destruction. This is the theme of the poem. That fire, although fire can be said that fire will end the world, but we can't say that only fire will end the world. even ice can end the world. Here, fire symbolizes the anger, and ice symbolizes tolerance. You can see that in the world there is anger everywhere. The negative aspects of life are with fire. Anger, jealousy, cruelty, intolerance, fury. These qualities which are said to be negative, these are poisonous attitude in the mankind which represents fire, and this can cause the destruction of the world. The atomic war we are talking about nowadays in Third World War, it will be an atomic war, I know what not and what not. What are these? All the countries have prepared their weapons. What are they? They are the destruction. And they are capable to destruct the world completely many times. And these all are representing fire. And this is the cause of the war, the jealousy, the intolerance. These are the things which always causes war. And when it's a war, it will completely finish the world. The poet is anxious about that the fire will end the world. And in the second sense, ice, it means tolerance is also sometimes destructive. To tolerate whatever others are doing for me is not wanting. It should also be avoided. We should always reply for that, because the crimes will increase if they are not checked. If we have a habit to tolerate each and everything what are others doing for me, and I have to tolerate that, it is not admirable. We should never try to do so. We should always try to offend and stand against it. And this is here symbolized by the ice. It means हम बहुत अगर शांत रहते हैं, बहुत ठंडे रहते हैं, तो यह भी विनाश का कारण हो सकता है. So the poet says that but if it had to perish twice, अगर दुनिया दूसरी बार खत्म होने को हो, तो I think कि ice is also suffice. By this way, you can understand that in these two poems, the nature has been described by Robert Frost, and I think it is not very difficult to understand it, and you have done it, and if any problem, we will discuss about it. And you should try to understand the poem by its symbols, by the symbols used by the poets, and then only either it is Hindi or it is English, you can understand the poem. The prose, as I have already told you before beginning the class, that it is very easy to understand the prose, either in English or in Hindi. But as far as the poems are concerned, you will have to take out the meanings of the poet from inside the heart of the poet what does it want to say by using these words and these lines. That's all. I hope you will understand the poems by this. Thank you.